I learned electronics to help me build this Pomodoro clock to help me focus on tasks better while also learning something new. In this episode, I'm finishing up the clock, which includes adding an RGB LED rotary encoder and building a case for it, as well as soldering components together. So let's get this project finished up. First off, I'm writing down all the connections I currently have just in case I mess something up when adding the RGB LED or rotary encoder. Here is my first test of the LED wiring. It's basically like 3 separate LEDs with each one controlling red, green, or blue. And this test was a little glitchy, so I fixed some things up. And I wanted it to show red while working, green while on a break, and blue while paused. Now I'm adding the rotary encoder, which sends pulses as you turn it, and it can also detect the direction and number of steps it goes. It also has a built-in button, and it just feels really nice overall, clicking and moving it. I had to get rid of all the code for the buttons and replace it with the rotary encoder, and I don't have a video, but I actually originally coded it backwards, so when I pressed the button it toggled through the options, and when I turned it, it selected the option, so I was pretty confused with that at first. Here's me just testing it and making sure it finally all works after that mishap, which it does. So last video I was debating if I should solder anything, and I decided to get a $15 soldering kit from Amazon. I only decided to solder some of the components, and I did not get a PCB, so it's gonna look a little bit like a rat's nest and have a prototype vibe to it, but just be a little more secure. This will make the ground and 3-volt connections easier since there are multiple wires connecting to each of those. But I will still have the DuPont jumper wires connected to the components. Let's get prepping everything. I'm starting off by stripping the wires that connect to the ground and 3-volt first, since I figured those would be the easiest, and I'm going to just twist them together for now and make sure nothing's tied around anything else before I solder it. I'm using painter's tape to keep things a little more organized, and I'm checking things are still working as I go. The LED was pretty tricky since it has 4 pins and there are 3 resistors, so I had to finagle those around a little bit. Now I'm just showing how everything's organized. These are the 3-volt wires connected, the ground wires, and then these are the wires that go to the LED. You may be wondering to yourself what casing I'm going to use and if I'm going to make my own. Nope. I used the same exact case from the project that inspired this and just printed that.
Okay, now I'm going to see how this is all fitting in here before I solder, so I'm going to gently put that on. And now this looks crazy. I did a crash course 101 soldering class with my father. I need to get nice and close here so you can see this amazing job.
Some of the soldering was pretty tough. It wasn't sticking to the wires that I stripped from the original prototyping kit I got, so I had to do some of it a little sketchy by melting it directly on the iron, but it all worked out in the end.
Oh, I just touched it. That was pretty hot.
And now I'm showing what everything looks like after the soldering. To make sure none of the wired parts touch, my dad suggested I just wrap anything exposed in electrical tape.
Okay, so now I'm fitting it all in the casing that I built and seeing how I'm going to orient it. Figured it's time.
Just a warning, this is going to look pretty janky on the inside, but I just care that it works. I put electrical tape on the bottom where the controller was going to touch, just in case it was conductive somehow.
Okay, so I got everything on. Only thing is, this is like a really hard edge to print, so it's sticking out. And I don't know what to do to fix that, but look at that. Yay, it's so cool. That edge was really bothering me, so we tried to fix it by cutting and re-gluing it, but the glue wasn't really sticking and it was pretty thin, so we decided to reprint the whole thing in blue. Now here's me just redoing all that work, and I actually reused a piece of the old part as a little stage for the microcontroller to sit up on, so the plug was still accessible. I got my other rotary coder stuck in this, but I kind of like the look of this.
And here's the finished product. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this little electronics journey. I truly had so much fun learning a new skill while also applying my coding skills. Hopefully this will also help me focus a little better and have a practical use. And just let me know if you have any more suggestions for things I should try or make in the future. And it literally does not have to be electronics related, it can be anything, so just let me know down below. I just had a lot of fun learning a new skill and am excited to see what you guys have to suggest. So thank you again and bye.
Already putting this to good use.